I know you've seen it, but let me explain what's really behind it. Because the consequences are much deeper than they seem. Here's the story nobody in Washington wants to talk about. A federal judge has just ordered the Trump administration to fully fund the nation's food stamps program this month. And yes, this is not just a small bureaucratic hiccup, this is a lifeline for millions of Americans who rely on SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, to put food on the table. But here's where it gets complicated. Almost immediately after the ruling, the Justice Department announced that it would appeal. That means the future of SNAP is hanging by a thread, caught in a legal tug-of-war, while families across the country are left wondering if their next meal will actually happen. Imagine the anxiety, the uncertainty, and the very real fear of parents who suddenly don't know if their children will have breakfast or dinner. And yet, for the politicians and lawyers in D, this is just another case to argue about, another point to score in the courtroom. The human cost is enormous. Picture Maria, a single mother in Ohio, counting out coins for the week, her children peering anxiously from the kitchen doorway. SNAP benefits are what keep her from skipping meals, so her kids can eat. And now, thanks to this appeal, she cannot be sure if her assistance will arrive in time. Or think about George, an elderly veteran in Texas, who has relied on SNAP for years to stretch his fixed income. He has enough for medicine this month, but food? That's uncertain. The court order says the program must be fully funded, yet the appeal leaves him and millions like him in limbo, suspended in a state of anxiety and fear. And the ripple effect goes beyond just individual households. Stores across the country depend on SNAP spending. Farmers and grocers rely on the stability it provides. Delay a month of funding, and suddenly the local economy feels the tremors. Shelves may go less stocked, small businesses may see fewer customers, and those who rely on regular shopping cycles, the ones living paycheck to paycheck, will feel the pinch immediately. This isn't abstract policy. This is reality impacting real lives every single day. The appeal also highlights the fragility of our social safety nets. Judges don't issue orders lightly, and when a federal court rules that SNAP must be funded, it is because the need is urgent, undeniable, and immediate. And yet, one appeal from the Justice Department can undo that immediacy, leaving millions waiting, hoping, and, in many cases, worrying about the very basic human need for food. When the government can delay something as fundamental as nutrition, what does it say about the priorities of those in power? And let's not overlook the psychological toll. Hunger is not only physical, it erodes mental health, stability, and hope. Children are affected more than anyone. Their concentration falters at school, their energy diminishes, their sleep is disturbed. Parents like Maria experience stress that can feel unrelenting, the constant calculation of will we make it through this week. The court ruling is supposed to provide relief, a clear mandate to secure food for the vulnerable. But the appeal injects doubt into that relief, reminding everyone that policy can be a slow, imperfect shield against human suffering. Consider the broader picture. SNAP is a program designed to prevent hunger, yet here we are, seeing how fragile even the strongest safety nets can be when politics and bureaucracy collide. The ruling is clear, full funding. The appeal is underway, uncertainty reigns. Meanwhile, families, seniors, and children wait. They wait for letters, for notifications, for the moment when assistance finally arrives. And each day that passes without certainty deepens anxiety, magnifies stress, and turns a temporary worry into a real, lived crisis. And think about the ethical weight of this situation. A program that feeds millions is caught in a tug-of-war between law and politics. When a government allows legal appeals to delay basic needs, it forces citizens into a position of vulnerability that should not exist in a society with abundant resources. It forces people to live in limbo, unsure whether they can meet their most basic human rights. And yet, this is exactly what is happening now, across towns, cities, and rural communities alike. What makes it even more tragic is that the solution is known and simple, funding SNAP fully and without delay. But even when a judge demands this, political forces can postpone implementation. The appeal may succeed, may fail, or may drag on, and in the meantime, families like Maria's, seniors like George, and millions of others must make impossible choices. They are forced to ration, to skip, to prioritize one need over another, and each day, each meal that is delayed, reminds us of how dependent lives are on decisions made far from the kitchen table. So what can we take away from this? SNAP is not just a line item on a budget. It is not an optional program. It is a matter of human survival. And the appeal by the Justice Department is not an abstract legal maneuver. It is a moment that underscores the vulnerability of our social safety nets and the people who rely on them. A single legal challenge has the power to turn stability into uncertainty, sustenance into scarcity, and hope into fear. In short, the story is more than politics. It is more than law. It is about real people, parents, children, seniors, veterans, facing real consequences. And as long as the appeal remains unresolved, SNAP remains suspended in limbo, a lifeline hanging by a thread, and the anxiety of those who depend on it grows with every passing day. The stakes are enormous. The consequences are immediate, and the human cost cannot be ignored.